how much do foundation repairs cost? In this video, I'm sharing our experiences and hard numbers from hiring foundation companies to repair both pier and beam and slab-on-grade foundations. In addition, I will be sharing some of the hidden fees that may be outside of the contract. Both of these foundations had some rim joists, sill plates, and main beams replaced, along with sistering joists and adding additional piers. Let's get the hard numbers you think you want out of the way. The first foundation shown here, with the traditional foundation repaired in place, was $6,400. The second one with a new floating foundation was $4,000. Would it shock you if I said those numbers weren't the initial estimates? Probably not. Honestly, I can't recall the original estimate on the first house, but it was close to $5,000. The original estimate for the second house was $3,500. Here's why there was a difference between the estimate and the final bill. In both cases, the extent of the damage wasn't visible. Some of the main beams had dry rot, which none of us could tell until the 20-ton jack started crushing the beam when it tried lifting it. In retrospect, we could have done a highly scientific screwdriver test, where you, unsurprisingly, use a screwdriver and try and shove it into the beam. If it sinks, keep moving further and further down until you come across solid wood again. But even then, if the weak point is inside of the beam or sandwiched to another piece of wood where you have limited access, it is difficult to tell ahead of time. The more significant $1,500 difference in the first foundation was also due to a lack of footing pretty much around the entire house. This back corner was falling away and required at least a 4-foot hole with cement on the bottom to support a pier. But without digging into the dirt around the base of the house, no one knew how deep the cement below the brick stem wall went down. What I would do next time is start a very small excavation to see what I and the potential crews will be dealing with before they arrive to give a bid. I'm not saying dig a huge hole so that it causes more damage in the event of rain or ground heave if your timeline is longer. Just dig enough to see how far the cement goes out on either side and see how far down it goes. I probably could have done this with a hand tool, and we would have all been way more informed up front. No matter what the estimate is, plan on project creep. Also, those numbers didn't include putting the siding the foundation crews removed back onto the house. The first crew helped us put in replacement air and water control membrane, shingle style, and reinstalled the thankfully still flexible vinyl siding because we helped them with the foundation repair work. The other crew offered to reinstall the rim joist and replacement wood cladding for $500. You'll also have to add in plumber's fees if any additional work has to go into replacing a hose bib. Oftentimes, foundation problems are the result of water damage, and hose bibs generally are where the foundation repairs are done, just as a nuisance to complicate the job if it's not the source of the problem. I'm saying that somewhat sarcastically, but we really did have 2 hose bibs to work around on both houses. In addition to expecting some project creep, it is a good idea to get your foundation repairs done sooner than later. As I said before, expectation number 5, don't wait. Foundation repairs get worse over time, meaning the final bill will be more expensive the longer you allow the foundation to deteriorate. Here are some numbers from additional projects we've had since then. The next project, interestingly enough, was also $6,400 for a slab foundation. This involved over 60 piers driven 14 feet into expansive clay soil under a house and garage. This included breakouts in the garage and driveway. Another is currently an estimate of $45,000. This is for a half slab, half pier and beam house and driveway sliding down a hill. The price is so high because the house was built on a hill using foundation methods for a house built on flat land. The repairs include expensive helical piers to lock the house in place, but that's a lot lower of a price tag than if the house is basically lifted while a new foundation is built below. As you can see, the final cost of your foundation repairs can vary depending on the extent of damage, how much contractors charge in your area, and who you know. For instance, prices for the 6400 slab foundation job were also coming in at $15,000 before tapping into the right circles. The hired crew even followed up a year later. That was impressive. Then there's also the coordination with the city to pull a permit on repairs. Definitely give them a call when you are starting the process to make sure your repairs are done properly and you won't have an issue when selling your house later. In addition, you may need to have a soil report and involve a structural engineer. Unfortunately, the foundation repairs are only the beginning. Everything else above the foundation, and even the plumbing below, may move and result in some additional repairs. I created an entire video dedicated to the repercussions here. Really, there are too many factors to give you a good ballpark to compare against. Your best bet is to talk to 3 reputable foundation repair companies to get a feel for the extent of the problem. I'm saying the number 3 specifically because even though you think you have 3 solid companies coming out, if one is way off and the other 2 are comparable, you have a better idea of what's really going on and who you'd rather work with. I'm really sending you some positive vibes because this may be a tough job to complete DIY style or pay out. If you have a crawl space, I highly suggest you go under the house yourself before the first contractor arrives. Definitely check out this video to get a list on the kinds of questions you should ask. I've put links to all the foundation repair videos I have on the channel down in the description. If you have any additional advice or tips based on your own experiences, please add them to the comments below so we can all learn together. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next Friday.